Thunder Cage, the ad clear demon. This is probably one of the best weapons in the game for just general farming and clearing ads. There are a few, let's call it caveats with it though. And the main thing I want to focus on is how the talent really works. I see so many people try to claim that this weapon is only really best on Bunny. No, actually, this weapon is probably best on Gley, along with a few other things, Python being another very good one for Gley. The reason for this is quite simply how the talent on it works, its unique ability. A lot of people seem to think that this unique ability, if we have a look at the weapon, this unique ability, I've got mine at max, hopefully you can see that. Trigger rate, 100%. Damage range, 5 meters. Additional damage is 133% of our firearm attack. Okay, our firearm attack. It doesn't crit, it doesn't do weak point, it is just firearm attack. Now the part that seems to confuse a lot of people is the wording here. Electric shockwave. Because it's electric, a lot of people seem to think that this is now going to be very good on Bunny. Well, it's very good on every character. You can put it on Bunny and it will do the exact same thing that it does on Ajax. That electric shockwave is just the name of the effect and it looks electrical. It isn't actually electrical. And we can show this very easily. The easy way to show this is, I believe, in our options. If we go to gameplay, we can show, obviously we've got like health and other things. It's the weapon damage, skill damage, health values, and there's one for like showing elemental values or something. I've forgotten where it is. But if we just shoot this guy in the foot, hopefully you could see there was a little green icon, looks like a skull. That's our toxic damage. Okay, when we look at this weapon, I've got it rolled quite well. Critical hit rate, firearm attack, critical hit damage. I do have toxic attack on there. I kind of want to go for mag size, just to help it out a little bit more with the whole ammo consumption. However, on note of what we have just seen, if we just refresh these guys real quick, on note of what we have just seen, try and find the lightning symbol. It literally looks like a lightning bolt. Okay, we're just going to kill this guy. Anyone see it? We'll do it again. This time, I am going to remove my boggin head and I'll slow the footage down. There's no symbol for electric. You can see the poison all day. We can see the poison all day. Like, it's there. It's doing toxic because I have toxic on it. It's not actually doing any form of electric. So, why am I saying this weapon is also very good on Gley? Well, it's actually very simple. Gley has this lovely thing of being able to penetrate enemies. Firearm penetration increase amount 51. I'm not quite sure how this is calculated or what it means. A lot of weapons do come with their own version of penetration. But to put it simply, you can just cause chain reactions with this weapon with Gley. It's a tiny bit quicker than using a different character. Now, just to show what I was on about with the whole electric thing, hopefully this doesn't actually one-shot anything. But you should be able to see. Now I've got Sharon on. Just going to use her Q. You can see the electric symbol. Hopefully. That's what happens when there's actually electric involved. You'd see this on Bunny. You don't see it on Thunder Cage. So it's Thunder Cage is just not doing electric. For my next trick, I'm just going to show Thunder Cage doing some ad clear, to be perfectly honest, as that's what it's basically, I would argue, it is designed to do. Now, there is a very good mission to show this. This is going to be slightly over-exaggerated because I'm going to try and show it as best as possible in its probably most ideal scenario. Hopefully still we can see that there is still some toxic going on, and throughout you'll see that there's basically no electric taking place. And we're just going to hold these one at a time. We don't really have to like aim. Realistically, we can just spam. On occasion, give it a good old jump and look. But you should notice that a lot of the enemies, they don't really come for me. There will be a few, but most of them will just hug the individual points. Keep an eye on the explodey guys. That's about it. With the guys that have that weak point thing of where they only take damage with the weak point, Thunder Cage is very good for them. Shoot something near them and they will always take damage from Thunder Cage. Unless they have like a shield or complete immunity, Thunder Cage will get through it with the explosion. Obviously, if there's nothing nearby for you to use the explosion on, you will have to try and be a little bit more accurate instead, which can be a problem with SMG type weapons. But realistically speaking, Thunder Cage is just probably one of the best weapons in the game for just generalized ad clear. It's absolutely nutty. Hopefully after we've cleared this area, we can actually show that in a bit more effect. And we're just going to move up here now, and you should see a bunch of ads. They're all dead, or at least the vast majority. There's a bunch of ads over here. One of them's got a bubble. They're dead. They're dead. They're dead. Like, in terms of ad clear, like, as you can see, this is just absolutely nuts. Thunder Cage is absolutely awesome for this. So for general farming, Thunder Cage is probably one of the best weapons to go for. It's absolutely insane in its overall performance. Right, now onto the part that I'm sure a lot of you are probably mostly interested in. What build am I running? Now, before we go into this, there's one thing that I need to show you. I have 7 crystallizations in. 7. I believe this comes with 1. I believe it's this one or this one. One of them. It's either a triple line or a C with a dot. I've put 7 in. This is very expensive to run how I have built. I have fire rate up, action and reaction, better concentration, better insight, rifle reinforcement, concentration priority, insight focus, exchange weapon charge, reload insight, and I've opted for lethal finish. You don't have to go for this. This is something that I personally prefer. With lethal finish plus the critical hit rate that I already have in place, this puts me to 116.5 critical hit rate, which when that translates over to my actual firearm critical hit rate, it puts it to 43.5. So I've gained this is giving me literally another 13% critical hit chance. I feel this is worth it for how I play. And how I play is quite literally, I don't even aim. If I hit a weak point, great. If I don't, I don't care. I would rather go for the crit. And that's just because how I play this weapon. I very seldom aim. Most of the time it is literally just doing a drive-by, essentially. And then depending on the amount of crits and crit ratio that you end up receiving, sometimes you can wipe an entire mob very quickly, sometimes you don't. Now, if you don't wish to run lethal finish, obviously going for more weak point sight here is going to be of use. As well as, I don't believe I actually have it yet, sweeping squad. If you can get sweeping squad, this is something that I would need to check, but I feel like this could be very, very powerful on Thunder Cage, simply because when defeating an enemy, firearm attack up by X%. I don't know how that goes up by, and I don't know whether the percent chance changes, but it's up to 3 stacks. Would need to check as to whether the Thunder Cage explosion, the electric shockwave, can trigger this, or if it's just bullet kills. If it also takes effect from the Thunder Cave explosion, this probably would be best in slot. As long as you are hitting groups, you will have this up permanently. Which also gives more firearm attack, which is also then going to buff the electric shockwave. So if you don't want to go for lethal finish, this is what I would suggest you go for instead. That's just me. Anyway, that is just about going to do it for this video. Have fun. Good luck. Don't die. It's bad for the health.